leave the faith. What is wrong? There is something which is called Madakhil Iblis, and that is the inroads of the shaitan into your heart. There are some way that the evil one, wal-iyadhu billah, can enter your heart and you don't even know it. And he listed 10 things. And look at the relevancy of this in terms of longevity, our own longevity that we need today. Number one, he said, beware of hasad, jealousy, envy and jealousy. That you are jealous of another Muslim making a little bit of progress. You are jealous of a sister who just had a baby. And that hasad destroys the person with the hasad more than the other person. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Iyakum wal hasad, fa innal hasada ya'kul hasanati kama ta'kulu nar al-hatab. Beware of jealousy. It will eat up your good deeds like a fire eats up firewood. Number two, anger, ghadab, uncontrolled emotions, getting too angry, a difference of opinion, anything, you're angry and you don't want to see that other Muslim. The masjid starts with one, then it goes into two. And the leaders get angry with each other and suddenly there's four. And suddenly there's eight. Because of not controlling their anger. And when a man came to the Prophet ﷺ and said, give me wasiyah, advice, and he said, la taghdab, don't get angry. Number three, greed and ambition. Greed, tama. That you're greedy for things, greedy for power, greedy for money, greedy for position. Take it out of your hearts. We want longevity. We need to take greed out of our lives. And number four, excessive love of food and drink. So people are not eating food to survive, as it originally was supposed to be. They eat the food because they love the taste of the food. They love the sugar. They love the pepper. They love the drink. When that excessive love comes, your desires then build up and the devil takes control of you. Number five, haste, doing things too fast, except in necessary acts of worship. So he said that yes, if you have a zad wa rahila, if you have the ability to make hajj, then make it right away. Don't wait 20 years. But haste. Don't think about what you're doing before you make an action. And the Prophet ﷺ said, Al-ajala min ash-shaytan. Clearly, he said, haste is from the devil. Number six, wealth. One of the inroads of shaitan to the heart is wealth if it exceeds your necessities. So if your money is now more than your necessities to live a decent life, that is a danger. Beware of that wealth. Seven, and this is an interesting point from the middle of the desert. He said, fanaticism in your school of jurisprudence. I'm a Maliki, I'm a Shafi, I'm a Hanafi, I'm a Salafi, I'm a Sufi. Fanaticism. And this is one of the problems dividing us and keeping us away from longevity. And number eight, hatred and contempt for those people who disagree with us. And sometimes there are Muslims who would disagree, and we should agree to disagree and continue to make dua for them. Because there's many ways to make salat. The Prophet ﷺ gave us many different options in our life. Number nine, burdening the common people with philosophical arguments about the names and descriptions of Allah. Philosophy, burdening the common people. Why do you get them involved in these arguments? Go online and see some of the hair-splitting arguments that are going on, and you see how the evil can come. And number 10, holding suspicion against Muslims. That means you suspect somebody, right? Su'a dhan, you suspect.
Okay. So, this video is going to be very, very long. There's a lot to unpack. But I don't know if this teacher was aware that he just described the modern woman. Okay? He just basically described the modern woman in a nutshell. Okay? In a freaking nutshell. And the scary thing is, at the beginning of the lecture, he said that these things lead to Shaitan entering the heart, or politically correct English, the Satan entering into the heart. So I hate to say this, and this is gonna upset a lot of women, but if you're from the West, I'm automatically going to think that you have a shaitan inside of your heart. Since we have social media, we have daily interactions, and we try to avoid those daily interactions, showing what he just broke down. Now, I don't know if he was aware that he was describing modern women. Now, the thing is that, for example, you may be doing something, yeah? And your intention may be good for doing that thing. And it turns out that what you're doing, it serves another intention. I don't know if he was aware that this would serve this intention. Now, when you look at how he said it, he said that the shaitan, Satan, will enter your heart without you even knowing it. Okay? That's heavy. That's very, very heavy. Okay? Because I'm of the opinion these women aren't even aware that they have things wrong with them, and that there's a head honcho at the cause of that. Now let's go over these things and use some life examples, whether it be in the manosphere, whether it be in the red pill, whether it be in whatever community you're involved in, passport bros, green pill, black pill, whatever community you're involved in. I really don't know how to classify my content, really. I try not to box it in. But jealousy. Let's look at how modern women are hella jealous. All right? If they weren't jealous, right, they wouldn't be having a war that we have right now going on with them and foreign women, in which men are going to in order to find peace. You should see some of the comments they leave against Filipinas, some of the comments they leave against other Asians, some of the comments that they leave against these traditional women. Okay? It stems from jealousy. They will never say it's jealousy because, look, if you aren't a jealous person, you would just let things ride out. You wouldn't care about where these men are going. You wouldn't give a crap. You wouldn't try to dox them. You wouldn't try to cancel them. You wouldn't try to compete with them either by going to these other places and just getting done up. Nobody's putting a ring on it. We all know it stems from jealousy. Now we look at the situation with the very few minority, very small minority. There is a very, very tiny minority of women who sincerely want to be women. I mean, I would say it's like this tiny, you know? When you look at the ones who did get chosen, what does the hyena call them? Pygmies? pygmishas, mammies. I'll give you an example. Of how diabolical how diabolical it looks. Okay, I'll give you an example. Okay, just give me a second. Give me 1 second. So this is a woman
Other species
named
operates and what they value, what they want.
This is a woman who is single, no kids, past geriatric stage, but she's calling other women pygmies when she knows the gig is up for her. Okay, look at what she does.
Oh yeah.
So when you see things like that, right? Does that not look like demon possession almost? Because deep down inside, she's jealous that she didn't get picked and she didn't put herself in a position to get picked. Then you have the past me, who rode the cock carousel with Pookie, Ray Ray, Tyrone, Chad. In the Asian case, Chan. In the Hispanic case, Carlos. Okay? In the African case, I hate to say it, but I'm just going to use this name, Sheikh. We use that. That's a name that's common for us, is Sheikh. You have, I think, you have Sheikh West. You have like Sheikh Tiote, Sheikh Torre. I know a lot of sheikhs, by the way. So, you look at when these women deal with, and in the Somali case, Abdi, when you look at what happens when these women get done with their past me stages, the other women, the very few minority of women who didn't have a past me stage are now called pygmies. When they get married, when they're willing to cook, clean, and do everything to make their man happy, because ultimately making their man happy is going to make their Lord happy, as long as they don't disobey their Lord. Okay? Now, you look at anger. A lot of these women are so mad that, as I said in a previous video, they don't want to see you happy. Because they're not happy. They don't know how to be happy anymore. Okay? When you really look at the situation, I'll show you another example. Now, this woman is a sprinter. Everybody thought she was hot stuff because she won. She won.
Celebrities are showing you every single day how out of touch and tired and arrogant they are.
Okay, so she won the Olympic trials. She didn't even win the Olympic Games. She didn't even medal. She didn't even go to the Olympics. But she won the trials. And she was high as a kite when she did it. She didn't even go to the games. But she is so angry, so arrogant, and so self-entitled And when you look at her, you can tell she has shaitan in her. Hold on just a minute. Hold on. Let me see. Look at her, bro. Look. So the way I look at this is that shaitan goes inside these women's hearts, like how the carousel, the pogo sticks, goes inside their thing, like this, like just boom. It's not even tight anymore. It's like boom, it's in there. Like shaitan is really in there. Now, this is her getting upset at having to follow protocol on an airplane that says, please turn your phone on airplane mode. We're about to take off. You may use your Wi-Fi when we're in the air. You may use your Bluetooth when we're in the air. Look at this.
Today, if you have small vacation time, such as cell phones, tablets, and smartwatches, please switch them. You recorded me, but you jumped in my video, so I caught you because you jumped in my video. You're harassing me at this point, so I think you should stop. I think you should stop. You see him, right? Y'all see him, right? Okay, but I'm sorry, it's not me. Talk to him. No, don't talk to me like that. I'm an adult. Do not talk to me like that. Do not talk to me like that. Tell him to stop. If you do not know what's going on, do not yell at me.
You can stop recording.
No, I'm not going to start recording because I was making a video to myself. I'm going to not start recording. And this video will show what you're doing. So I would appreciate. Who are you talking to, man? Thank you. No.
So, even with that, okay, the other woman said, shut the F up, showing her anger. But even with that, right, she couldn't simply follow protocol and just said, okay, I'll record while I'm in the air or something like that. Because I think an announcement was about to be made on the flight. Okay? Now, I mean, when you look at modern women, they're angry a lot of the time. I mean, I have been in, and that's why I try to stay away from them. I've been in talking spaces where modern women will say it turns them on when men have bodies, meaning when men delete other men, and it turns them on when Anglo-Saxon police officers delete men of my complexion. Now, when you look at the fact that these women are greedy as hell, name me one thing that a modern woman will give you in a relationship that's reciprocating, that reciprocates the effort that you may put in a relationship. I mean, just getting the draws is not enough. I don't know why people think that getting the draws is enough. I mean, if you really want the draws, like, you can actually pay for the draws. And the way I look at it is these modern women's body counts are so high at this point that it's really no different than smashing a prostitute. And if you do use a prostitute, it's less headache. It's less games. It's cut and dry. Now, I'm not calling it fornication. I'm not calling to that. But I'm just saying, what is different? What is different with a prostitute than what it is with a modern woman? Because they have yeast infections. They have all kinds of things going on down there. I smelt it my damn self, okay? This woman had... There's been women who have horrible odors, okay? Now, granted, I have beard oil that kind of smells strong, but it has a manly smell. One said that it smells like you're trying to be girly and wear perfume. And the reason why she said that is because she smelled like, whatchamacallit. She smelled like hot dog water. It was horrible. You know, it was a very, very bad stench. Okay? Now, when it comes to greed and the love for rank, things like that, city girl, boss babe, period. I mean, yes. Instagram model, OnlyFans, getting flown out. Part of love of rank is also love for attention. What do most modern women love to get from people that aren't going to even give them the time of day? What do they love? Please, let me know. Please, let me know what they love. And so what I'm trying to get at is this. It's gotten to the point where they don't even know that Shaitan is in their heart, that the devil is in their heart. They don't even know. Okay, now, the next thing. Love of food. I mean, let's be honest, most of them are out of shape. Most of them who appear in shape have beer bellies from all their constant drinking and things like that. You know, when they go on the beach wearing bathing suits and stuff like that, all their bellies are hanging out. And that comes from weekends of drinking, weekends of eating, weekends of foodie calls. They don't have any discipline. Like, that's the thing. Like, they don't have any discipline. And those same plus size little women expect you, who may have discipline, to want them. Again, greed. Why wouldn't they go for a man their own size? You know that saying, pick on someone your own size? Why won't they pick someone their own size, man? Come on, what's the problem? Now, the other thing, haste. I want it now. I want it now. I'm going to give you 2 examples. Now, I'm not sure if they're skits or not, but they may be skits. But there was a skit in which there was a woman, right? You see the woman rejects the guy. She sees the guy's nice car and then wants to talk to the guy, right? The first question she asks is, when are we going to go shopping? I got needs. I got like things that I need. I got demands. She doesn't even know this guy from nil, but she saw the status and she runs to that. Runs to it, sprints to it, right? Not knowing the guy from nil. Not knowing if the guy is like just, you know, a serial killer or something like that. There's another time that haste happened to me. Now, there was this Cuban woman, and this is not in Cuba, by the way. This is outside of Cuba. She has been Americanized, for sure. I remember I was in the gym working out, doing an exercise, you know. She smiled at me. I gave her a head nod. That's it. But then she asked me, this is the first question she asked me. She didn't even ask me anything about me, okay? And what I mean by about me, she didn't even ask me for my name. She didn't even ask me for my, like, what kind of exercise I'm doing. She didn't ask anything like that. The first thing she asked me is, what is your profession? That is the first thing that she asked me. Okay? Meaning that she has haste to get to what I am working on. She has haste to get to the resources. Well, granted, I'm not going to name the resources, but just know that these resources are getting outsourced abroad. Okay? But the fact that she asked that goes to show you that she was in a haste and in a hurry for one thing. I question sometimes, do modern women think before they do things? I really question that. I really question if they think before they actually act or think before they even speak. I do question. And a lot of times, people like Brittany Renner, Amber Rose, Cynthia G, Sansaray Monique, the one I just showed you, Tonya TKO. They don't think before they speak because, again, the inroads of Shaitan have hit their heart so much. So they're always in a hurry. Always in a hurry. Now, when we go to the wealth part, that's obvious. What does a woman want? What does modern women want? It goes beyond security, right? They want beyond security. They want beyond security. That's what they want. Now, granted, in Islam, as a golden rule, you're supposed to take care of your woman. You're supposed to take care of your wife, provide for all her needs. However, she has to, uphold her end of the bargain. Meaning she has to do things, and if you're happy with her and God is happy with you and what you're doing, then things should be good. But if God is happy with you and you're not happy with her because she's falling into the category of which a lot of these women fall into, then here's where the problems lie, man. Here's where the problems lie. So, I say this to say that when you look at the dynamics, when you look at how many women are in the workforce, right? When you look at how many women are in debt, trying to keep up. When you look at these dynamics, because of their love of wealth and them just trying to get more, then, it's pretty cut and clear that, Shaitan is there. Now, another thing. You can't even agree to disagree with a modern woman anymore. You can't even say, I agree to disagree without being insulted. Even if you don't insult them. Even if you just say, you know what? I agree to disagree. I'm just going to leave it at that. They'll still insult you. They'll still have some venomous comment against you. It happened, that's why I tend to try to stay out of Clubhouse. I haven't been in Clubhouse for a minute. But when I was in Clubhouse, on those Clubhouse streets, bro, if I even disagreed with a woman, it would result in that woman saying, I don't like you. I'll be like, yeah, I don't give a crap. Most of the time it was modern Muslim women who fell under Keisha's sway. But they'll give you hatred and contempt. Now, the last point I want to make, okay? I'll end this video on this note. In fact, maybe tomorrow I'll do a follow-up video on where we stand in it. Like, what is our job as men? Like, how do we respond to this? Is philosophy. And the reason why I mention philosophy is, what do a lot of these women base their mood off of, base their whole actions off of, base their excuses off of, base their behavior off of? The H word, horoscopes. All this philosophical philosophies that don't translate to reality. They're so out of touch with reality that they think that is reality. So, not only do you have that aspect with the horoscopes, but a lot of these modern women are involved with tarot cards as well. Okay, you'll see them say, let me give you a tarot reading and all this other stuff. In fact, they try to solicit their services. So the bottom line is this. As harsh as this sounds, the modern woman has let Satan enter her heart. And in some cases, men have these same traits. Many cases, men have these same traits, but guess what category those men fit into? Simps, alpha simps, and these different group of like weirdos, who have these things. But if you're a man who tends to be traditional, go by the old school rules, then I think you'll recognize these things. And maybe sometimes you'll recognize these things in yourself and deal with those and do the opposite of those things. So I leave you with this. Okay, I leave you with this on a final note. You have to ask yourself this. Realizing everything that I just read, what would you rather do? Be in monk mode, learn how to be alone until you get yourself in a position where you can go somewhere where you don't have to be alone, which will most likely be abroad, or dance with the devil literally, based on what I just read and based on what that teacher indirectly just said to us. But with that being said, leave your thoughts, leave your comments. Fula signing out. SYS MB. Save yourself, Muslim brother. And I'm off until the next one. Jarama.